Ronke Giwa-Onafuwa, author, Lara's Lessons and founder, Who is That Girl Nigeria, and Esther, founder, Imole Counselling and Therapy Services. They both join me now to speak more on this. Thank you, ladies, for giving us your time. Let me start with you, Ronke. The theme for this year, investing girls' rights, our leadership, our well-being. What's your understanding of the motive for this choice?
For having me. I'm super excited. It's International Day of the Girl Child. And yes, just like you said, we're talking about investing in girls' rights. And for me, really, it's more about beyond paying lip service to investing in girls' rights, but actually doing something. We have 1 or 2 days set aside for girls to talk about our rights. But it's unfortunate that, even though we've made quite, some stride, we still have in certain areas where girls' rights are definitely denied. Some girls are still denied education. Some girls still feel like they're not brilliant enough when you go to, for example, science classes, or when you talk about STEM. There are still girls who believe that they can't do engineering and stuff like that. So for me, it's a day to really advocate for girls and to remind the world that girls' rights are super important, that if you invest in girls, then you're investing in the world. The ripple effect is undeniable when you invest in girls. So it's just remind the world once again, not to pay lip service to the rights for girls, but to really put girls at the forefront of policies and decisions that will definitely in turn affect the world.
Have a choice, do we? If we want a better future for all, girls needs super education. Let's come to you, Esther. What do you think are the most significant challenges facing the girl child today? I mean, a lot of advocacy has been ongoing, but we're not there yet, are we?
Yeah. No, we aren't. We still have a long way to go, but there is progress. For instance, we have child marriages. I do not know why we still have child marriages in 2023. We have children, we have female children who do not have access to education, probably because their dad or mom is saying, you're a girl, at the end of the day, you get married. So what's the point? So we have wrong ideologies, we have human trafficking. It's a lot. And like Ronke rightly said, we have gender discrimination. It is everywhere. Whether you're a child or you're an adult, it is everywhere.
Okay, I'll come back to you. The wife of the president highlighted education as a tool. A lot of us talk about education, but considering where we are now in Nigeria, we have insecurity in most parts. Schools are shut. Girls are consistently being impacted negatively. How can we actually improve on the quality of education that girls are getting today?
I mean, it's simple. You've talked about insecurity. There are certain places in the country where in the past, girls were not encouraged to go to school. And for some time now, girls have really been, or some parents in this part of the country have made efforts to educate their girls. And then to get to the point where now the girls are going to school and then they're being kidnapped or, they're being killed for getting education. We really must do better, as a country and as a people. If we want girls to be educated, then we must do all that it takes. When we talk about equity, oftentimes we're talking about giving girls what they need as opposed to just equality. So for a lot of girls, it's about not just sending them to school, but giving them the needed security so that they can stay in school, the confidence, so that they can also, stay in school and get the needed education. Because we all know that once you educate girls, you have women, in the world who can, in turn, affect a generation, basically. So beyond just educating girls, we must also give them the security to stay in schools. A lot of girls in certain parts of the country are discouraged because obviously when they go to school, they're faced with, bandits, kidnappers, etc. So we must educate girls and then give them all that they need to stay in school.
All right, Esther, I'm back with you. I want you to speak on maybe, there are challenges that we know, education, early marriage, and some of those issues, even female genital mutilation still happens in 2023. Are there any, to your knowledge, emerging challenges for the Nigerian girl child that we need to pay attention to and address before it skyrockets?
Trafficking is a big deal right now because when these girls experience that, they either go into forced marriages, forced labor, or they're even sexually exploited. So that is a major issue that should be looked into. Then again, we need more girls in policy making. That participation has to be there. We need more girls in technology. Thankfully, there is a lot of progress in that direction. There are lots of organizations doing a whole lot in that direction. But we still need to let girls know that technology is for you. The science is for you. You can do it. So these are some of the challenges that I know that is emerging currently.
All right, I'll stay with you and then we'll wrap up with Ronke. How can communities and families support the education and development of the girl children?
First and foremost, there has to be community-based sensitization because it starts from our parents, it starts from our religious leaders. If they don't know these things, there is no way they will be able to encourage the girl child to do the needful. There is no way they would encourage them to go to school. There is no way they would empower them on menstrual hygiene, for instance. So the parents themselves, the major stakeholders themselves need to be educated because there are so many illiterate parents who have no business, who do not think they have a business sending their child to school in the first place. So imagine if they are enlightened. That enlightenment will definitely drill down to the girl child.
How can communities and families support the development of the girl child?
So I didn't get that.
What Esther said, I mean, we also must realize that representation matters.
Okay.
Esther talked about how parents who don't see the value in sending their children to school because they probably think they will get more money from, sending that child to, get married than, getting value in education. So representation matters. We need to see women of all kinds who are educated and who are showing young girls of this generation and parents also who don't see the value in education, that there is value in education, want to see women in TV, women in politics. Esther raised a valid point about how can men make decisions for women when they're not women. So we need more women in governance, more women making policies, more women making laws, so that it can benefit young girls. When we have more women in governance, it can benefit more girls. We need, like Esther said, sensitization as well at the community level to educate these parents who don't see the value in education, that it is important in the long run, to educate the girls.
Ronke and Esther, thank you so much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.